I want to take you on a journey, and we're going to go into the darkness for a little while, but I promise you we will come back into the light. If you have normal vision, this is how you see the world. This is how I see the world. 10 years ago, I started having vision issues, like things weren't there. There wasn't any pain or irritation. Things were just gone. So I went in to see an ophthalmologist, and she did what's called a vision field test. And what it showed is I'd lost 90% of the vision in my right eye and half in my left to glaucoma. Even worse, the vision that I had was going fast, and what was gone forever. As a former professional photographer, outdoor adventurer, and as one who takes in the world and processes it visually, my sight was everything to me, and I couldn't imagine life without it. And I went down the rabbit hole. Bad. Really bad. In my experience, there's a reason why they call it a hole. My life got tighter, more constricted, darker, and my connection with life out there got farther and farther away. The only voice I heard was the one inside my head telling me that life without vision wasn't a life worth living. After 2 years, I had the vision of the hand of death reaching out to me, and I felt peace. Inner torment, pain, all of it vanished. And in that moment, and I reached back, and in that moment, I made a somatic shift, an internal shift, from resisting death to embracing it. And I wanted to go. I made my plans, I sold my stuff, I threw away my life's work of photography, I lost my home. I created a new email account to write all my goodbyes, wrote them along with my will, and assigned a friend to take care of everything after I was gone. As a good friend said, you're not just contemplating suicide, you are running towards it. I was driven by that feeling of peace I'd felt when the hand reached out. I love guardian angels. A voice from somewhere out there beyond me made me an offer I couldn't refuse. It said, do your bucket list. And that's it, do your bucket list. There were 3 items on it, and the first one was to kayak down the Grand Canyon. I had run rivers for 3 decades. In many ways, the Grand Canyon is considered an ultimate river trip. Friends who'd done it had described a multi-week journey where they left the craziness of this world and moved into what they called river time, in a timeless, sacred place. The problem was there was a 15-year wait list to get a permit. I didn't have years. I was running on months. 1 week later, a river buddy called up and he said, Doug, you know that permit I put in for 15 years ago? I just got it. Want to go? Yes! There's a saying, you don't do the Grand Canyon, it does you. And I was about to find out how true that is. So fast forward 2 months. I'm on the Grand Canyon on the trip of a lifetime. I am with a perfect group of people, a mix of adventurers, former Colorado River guides, and all of whom came together to create the most incredible group of people I've ever been with. But even on that trip of a lifetime, I could not escape the darkness, and I started going down the rabbit hole again. But that was about to change. Guardian angels are a really good thing. So it took me longer to pack than everybody else on the trip. Because of my vision issues, I had to double check, triple check, and make sure I didn't leave everything behind. But this particular morning, I had packed well ahead of everybody else. And the guy that led our trip came to me and he said, Doug, I just have a sense of what you're going through. 3 miles down on river left is a place called Redwall Cavern. It is a sacred place. Whatever you need to do, you can do it there. And in that moment, I knew that was why I was on this trip. I had a destiny with that place. So I got in my kayak and I paddled down to Redwall. It is a huge cavern carved out of the cliffs coming down. I pulled my kayak up on the beach. I took off my gear. I fell to my knees and I surrendered. And for the next 2 hours, 2 years worth of anger, grief, and sadness found its way up. I screamed, raged, cried, wave after wave. I slammed my fist into the wall until it bled, and I remember at one point looking up at this cavern ceiling, why can't I just die? I just want to die. And then an amazing thing happened. This energy came all throughout my body and concentrated into one point, like it wanted to be released. So I turned towards the sky, and I just raged. And just like that, it was gone. And in its place was a spaciousness, an inner spaciousness I had never felt before. There was room for all of it. Anger, grief, sadness, yeah, but also hope, patience, and the possibility of moving on. Now, I wish I could say that was the end of this story and I lived happily ever after and all of that, but that's not what happened. But what that gave me was a time out, a pause, a breath, an opportunity to recollect and get on with this journey. And that's what I want to share with you now, this experience I've had over the past several years, turning trauma into transformation. And since the theme for this TEDx is rivers, I'd love to use that as a metaphor because it is perfect. So in my experience, the tools, all of this that I've gone through in the last few years falls into 3 major categories: deal, heal, and release. So deal. I did go into depression again. Once those grooves are set, in my experience, it is easy to just slide right back down in there. I felt that peace again, that voice cranked up that said life without vision isn't a life worth living. The guy that ran the depression support group I was in thought I was a goner. My girlfriend was in tears. That's when I heard about a new treatment for depression, a drug called ketamine. As luck would have it, my doctor, my primary care doctor, had experience with it and could administer it. I had 6 infusions, IV infusions, over the course of 2 weeks. By the end of the 2nd infusion, this is day 3, things started shifting. By the end of the 6th infusion, that door, those thoughts of suicide were gone. It was a miracle. So to go to the river metaphor, dealing is like being stuck in a really bad rapid, and ketamine was a lifeline that pulled me out. Healing. I found 3 tools that helped me in the healing process and continue to help me in this process. The first one is meditation. Now, maybe you can relate. I've got a voice inside of my head that just yaks and yaks and yaks. If it was a roommate, it'd be gone in an hour. And that's the voice that had been harassing me over the years. What meditation enabled me to do was to start to get detached from that voice and not get hooked into it, the monkey mind. The second tool I came across, and I really like this one, is the Enneagram. It is a system that points to 9 different personality types. To me, it was like discovering this Google map into my mind or a crystal ball into that murkiness. And it showed me where I was in stress and in my heart point. It's unbelievable. I found out I'm a type 6, often known as the devil's advocate. So I'm in the middle of the head triad. I think a lot, way too much. And knowing this, and also knowing that as a 6, in my stress point, I believe the world is a dangerous place and it's out to get me. So I scan for trouble. I'm like the border collie looking for trouble out there. Knowing that enabled me to once again stand back and get some space from it and not get immersed in it. And the third tool I came across is known as somatic healing. What it states at a core premise is that we can heal trauma and deep stuff through our bodies. All the the talk therapy I'd done had gotten me nowhere. Maybe you've seen a big dog attack a small dog. You notice how the small dog shakes afterwards? That's how it releases the trauma that it just experienced. The technique I learned in somatic healing that I like the most is to focus on the sensations of where I feel whatever's going on. So if I feel grief, okay, grief. Where do I feel it? I feel a tingling behind my eyes, maybe a choking on my throat and a hollowness in my chest. So the work is to simply bring awareness and attention and just hold energy there and let it release. It's incredible. It was for me. So if dealing is getting saved from the rapid, then healing is learning how to run it. It's like coming back to that rapid, breaking it down into sections, and then learning the skills and techniques to successfully run it. Release. After several years of this, something else started to happen. There was an opening. If my life was a series of thoughts and emotions going across the screen, it's almost like I was able to slip in between those frames and in real time rewrite my story. And something else started to happen. It's almost like my awareness expanded out, and I started to feel the interconnectedness of things. Me, you, this room, this town, the planet, all of it. To return to the river metaphor, if dealing is like getting pulled from the rapid and healing is learning how to run it, releasing is like becoming one with the river. I'm aware of what I'm doing. I take the necessary strokes, nothing more. I'm aware of what the river's doing, how the canyon directs it, the sky above, all of it. What I've lost in vision, and I've lost a lot, I've gained in so many other ways. My life is deeper, richer, and more heartfelt than I ever could have imagined. And I have found home within. And I feel gratitude. Gratitude for life, gratitude for the vision I still have, gratitude for the people in my life that I care about, and gratitude for being able to share this story with you. Thank you.